To tell us more about their plans for this budget, we have Dr. Mahar Lagmay, Executive Director of Project NOAA, joining us on Morning Matters today. Welcome back to the program.
Hello, good morning. It's Gretchen.
Okay, Doc, unang-una, no,
Yes.
I know there is an impasse over at the House of Representatives. So what's keeping you up, awake at night? Is it the danger of having a reenacted budget and this 1 billion budget being slashed altogether? Or naiisip mo na ba anong gagawin mo dun sa ganong kalaking budget?
I don't know. I leave it up to Congress to decide on that. But whatever happens, we will still continue with our work on helping the Filipino people. Our plans are just to, provide solutions, science-based and nature-based solutions to our flood resilience efforts.
We do know that this project started back in 2012. And NOAA actually stands for Nationwide Operational Assessment of Hazards. We do know it more popularly for its hazard maps, but can you remind us, back in 2012 when this was formed, what was the big vision for Project NOAA under the DOST?
Yeah, the instruction was to make a responsive program for disaster risk reduction. And we thought of compiling or collecting all of the funded research projects related to DRR and put it into operation. That means it's active research, the kind that is used during emergency operations or during times of crisis, wherein you fund research and make sure that it is used right away, rather than just being published in journals and being put into books that gather dust in the shelf. So we learn at the same time while doing the operations research, because we are embedded in government effort. And when we do that, we learn more. We actually try to learn the lessons from each and every disaster, because when we do that, we don't repeat the same mistakes, and that saves a lot of lives. And we use the best technologies when we gather it from conferences from all over the world, the best practices in disaster risk reduction, and apply it to our country's efforts to save lives and mitigate the effects of disasters.
Okay. Pag sinabi nating Project NOAA, it is mainly a research body focused on gathering data. Tama ba? That is relevant to disaster response.
The fact that the reason why it's called Nationwide Operations Assessment, Operation Assessment of Hazards is because we are doing operational research. And when we have new products, frontier science and new technologies, we apply them right away because we are embedded with the efforts of government. We are able to test them right away. We are able to calibrate. We are able to learn. And if they work as they did in the past, we use them. The idea is to use them and apply it so that we can reduce the risk in future disasters.
And can you help us recall why again was it defunded in 2017?
Oh, that was a long time ago, Gretchen. I'd like to move forward.
From that heartbreak.
Yeah, let's not dwell on the past. There's a lot of things that we need to be concerned with.
Correct.
To work together, collaborate, so that we can do so much. We can do more for the country.
Naalala ko kasi noon, no, parang there was the reaction to that, no, was one of shock, because as a disaster-prone country, to see this project lose its funds. No? But what does this 1 billion peso allocation now mean for Project NOAA's work?
Yeah. I'd just like to emphasize na ang disaster walang kulay, no? It has no color because disasters impacts everybody. The rich, the poor, everybody, the middle class, nobody is exempted from the harsh impacts of climate change and the harsh impacts of natural hazards. What we intend to do is to may garble. May garble. But anyway, what we intend to do is to help with the efforts of government, particularly yung Kontra Baha. Yesterday, we met at the First District Office of Bulacan. There was this photo that's very famous wherein they laid down the hundreds of millions of pesos for distribution. And we met on that very same table. It's very symbolic because what we will put there now is not money, but rather science-based and nature-based solutions. So that's what we want to offer using Project NOAA and the entire University of the Philippines system in collaboration with all state universities and colleges, higher education institutions, because we believe that it's not enough to use science just to identify the hazards. We have to use science to identify with the best possible science, the interventions, the scientific interventions, once we identify the problems. And these interventions cut across all sectors, remember. We have to find science-based solutions to address the flood problem with regard to agriculture, to forestry, to tourism, to infrastructure, to energy, and so on. So it has to cut across all sectors so that when we embed it into the plans of the local government unit, they are science-based and risk-informed. And that is the best way for the local government unit to develop so that we can attain sustainable development goals. Imagine if we are able to plan well all of the LGUs with all the right science coming from research outputs. The best 634 cities and municipalities to attain the sustainable development goals.
I know you've been working on ito nga yung flood control with different cities. Kasama na dyan yung Quezon City. Let's start with that, no. What has worked for you with that coordination and partnership? Ano yung pinagawa sa inyo doon? And ano yung magiging role ngayon ng Project NOAA?
It's still
pagdating sa flood
ongoing.
Control.
We still keep on helping the local government units. One new research output that we have been working with Quezon City is the dengue threshold. There are many deaths attributed to dengue. And we found out that there's a relationship between, the amount of rainfall that happens that triggers dengue outbreaks. So just with that science, we may be able to, declare an outbreak and make some kind of intervention weeks in advance so that unnecessary deaths will be prevented. That's one. Right now, I'm on my way to Valenzuela to inaugurate the catchment basin that they have. So that's going to be one of the very first solutions that we can suggest, that we have suggested to be able to address our flood problems. Because it's not just dikes that we need to build. We have to have more solutions, more interventions, like, for example, retention basins, parks that with a lot of grass and trees that absorb water. We can plant trees in the mountains, because in our study, in one watershed, if we were dealing with 11 million cubic meters, just planting trees to reforest the mountains, that will reduce the amount of water by 1 million cubic meters just by restoring it to the year 1990. Add to that other interventions, like for example, some kind of riparian zones, planting bamboos, planting trees in urban areas, bioswales, and so on. We identify or we exhaust all possibilities. And then we find the residual risk, what we call as residual risk, yung hindi na kaya. That's when you build the dikes. So that's what we can offer to the efforts of government. And it started yesterday with the Bulacan meeting. Next year, we will be doing that, doing a lot of other kinds of interventions along with the PWH and hopefully DNR, because that's their mandate. And we would like to invite everybody to help out so that there's this ownership in solving the problem. Because it's a problem of everybody, not just the government.
That's correct. Are you looking to doing more of this kind of work, na mas personalized style of servicing local governments? Because there are different topographies and needs per locality. So, ganun ba ang direksyon nitong Project NOAA? And with that, how are you looking to scale the whole group? Will you still be under the UP Resilience Institute with this new funding?
Yeah, of course, yes. We want to remain with the University of the Philippines because there's a lot of expertise in the university. We have several constituent units and more than 20 campuses all over the Philippines. And we are the national university. And we can co-create knowledge with state universities and colleges. We can capacity. And all of these SUCs, when they're capacitated, we want to be able to help them also try to get funds from the local government unit so that they can do their research, and their research outputs will be embedded into the local government plans. That's the basic idea, because we keep on saying science-based and whole-of-society approach, where you use the science to identify the floods. You must be able to have local research to address the problems specific to that community. I think it's the way to go, because if we are to use science, that's the best bet that we have to solve our.
And with that 1 billion budget, how are you looking to spread the resources? Did you lobby for that 1 billion, that specific amount? It seems to be a huge amount, although kung titingnan mo, kung 2017 pa, pag spread mo, medyo delayed na ito, ano? Pero ano ang balak niyong gawin? How will you spread the resources for that?
Yeah, but it's never too late, because disasters will be happening again and again, and it may become even worse because of climate change. So it's never too late. Yeah. So what we want to do is to be able to help out. We've been making that call for the longest time, and this time around, it was Congress who called us and asked us how much we needed to be able to help government. And we gave a list of what we want to do. It's like, what do you call it? A dream come true. So we were able to list everything that we wanted to do, and they funded it. So let's see what will happen. We've been doing this for more than 10 years, mapping the country using probabilistic multi-scenario hazard maps, which is required by law, by the way, since 2018. Year after year, it's a provision in the GAA. So we're going to do that for the entire country, and at the same time address the concerns of DPWH, what help they need, and be able to help also the Kontra Baha, the Oplan Kontra Baha program of government.
So in terms of prioritization, ito pong flood control would take the number one spot, and the hazards. Go ahead.
The flood. Of course, it's flood control. That's primary. We have to be able to do that. Of course, we have been doing other things as well. Remember, Gretchen, we have been working with international organizations like the United Nations International Office of Migration, and we have been helping other countries already. We have been working with the ASEAN region, Philippines. Just a minute. Just a minute. Don't move. Don't move first. Um, we have been working with region, working on displacement of people affected by disasters. We have been working with Vanuatu, with Fiji, and because of the work that we have been doing, it has been seen by the international community. Some other Pacific Island countries are very, very much interested, but currently we have been working with Indonesia, with Bangkok, with Thailand, Fiji, and Vanuatu. So that's the priority. We have to commit because we have committed already to the work that we have started. But now that we have this 1 billion peso project, of course, we will expand to be able to address all of the requirements needed by the country.
Okay. I know it's been many years, no, since since what happened at the funding of this project. And I do understand na syempre meron din po kayo mga frustrations when disasters come. And so what are the blind spots that you think that can be addressed with this injection of funding? And as we do know, pagdating sa datos, it can only be useful if the data is understandable, comprehensible, and actionable by the common Filipino and the common responder. And how do you hope to make that happen? Na maintindihan ng mga Pilipino yung datos na lumalabas mula sa Project NOAA.
Yes, two things. First, we'll get science to do its work. The science means we have to open up the data set so that people can replicate the work that we do. We want to publish so that it's reviewed by peers in the international community. And we also want to use the arts and the humanities because science, if it is not embraced by the people, is meaningless. So we want to create movies, we want to compose music that will be sung by children so that they learn it in a enjoyable way. And be creative in our work in trying to communicate the important lessons, the important information that Filipinos need to know. So it's not just about science. It's about communication as well, using all possibilities, the arts and the humanities, understanding the mindset of the Filipino people. We need psychologists, sociologists, anthropologists, everything, everybody that we can recruit so that we will be able to bring the information down so that the science can be more effective.
Hindi naman ho kayo magkakaroon ng overlap ng DOST in terms of mandate?
At tingin ko wala namang problema doon. Remember, we had 475 billion allotted for flood control, which was canceled, right, for 2026. There's no scarcity problem in terms of funding. Everybody had the chance to request for their budget during Congress, and we can always collaborate. There's always innovation that should be welcome all the time because innovation is very important because we cannot just keep on doing the things that have failed. So with innovation and with new information, with new science, thinking out of the box, employing a lot of other methods like using more the arts and the humanities to communicate the science, I think that will help, and I don't see any problem with that. I think it's all about collaboration, cooperation, and building things to be better, to become better for the Filipino people.
Well, Doc Mahar, we're happy that finally your organization has gotten the much needed funding. Na ramdam po namin yung inyong saya, parang pagka may proyekto tapos nabigyan ng budget, may budget na tayo, ganon po ang saya po ninyo na nararamdaman po namin. And we look forward to the developments under Project NOAA. May you continue to arm our frontliners with the data and science they need to respond proactively to disaster. Okay.
Yes, Gretchen. Yes, Gretchen. With that 1 billion, I assure everybody that we will work with urgency, discipline, and full accountability so that every centavo of that 1 billion pesos will be put to good use.
Well, we still have a disaster to deal with in front of us, and that is the Bicameral Conference Committee. Once it hurdles that, tuloy-tuloy na po ang saya na ito. Maraming salamat po, Doc Mahar Lagmay, Executive Director of Project NOAA, for spending time with us this morning.